In this video, we're going to take a look at Brisbane and the surrounding local councils and see what you can buy up to a $650,000 price point. Now, $650K is the new $500,000 when it comes to buying an investment property. 5 or 10 years ago, everyone would say, oh, what can you get for $500,000? Now, given the price increases that we've seen over the last 6 to 12 to 18 months, the new market is around that $650,000 price point for a sweet spot between cash flow and capital growth. Now, of course, I'm talking in very general terms here, but around that price point, you might be able to get a 4.5 towards a 5% yield, and you're going to be able to allow the property to pay for itself and grow over the long term. We're going to take a look at Brisbane City Council and the surrounding local government areas, including Redland Bay, Moreton Bay, and Logan City Council, and to see what you can actually buy for $650,000 in the market as it stands today. Now, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and let's dive into it. So you can do this yourself, and the two biggest agencies or websites that we have online are Domain and realestate.com.au. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to jump into the sold page and we're going to look at the Brisbane region of any house with below a $650,000 sale price. You want to throw some extra filters on there as well. You want to be looking at houses. You want to look between $0 to $650,000. Any bedrooms and any bathrooms are fine for this point in time. And we're looking for a land size probably at least 500 square meters or larger. If you're getting on block sizes less than 500 square meters at this price point, they're probably going to be in locations that are potentially subpar or are developer style blocks, which don't have a great land component. Now, as an investor, land is what appreciates and buildings depreciate. And all that means is we're looking for land value because we believe that land grows over the long term and buildings deteriorate and need work and decline in value over a long period of time. So we've thrown in that filter of 500 square meters and we've excluded properties with price withheld because that's not going to help you when you're doing your own research. And then we're going to click see results. Now, instead of looking through these listings individually, let's jump into the map view on Domain and have a look at what it looks like in and around Brisbane at this price point. So you can see you actually can't buy within 10 to 14 kilometers of the Brisbane CBD at a $650,000 price point. Most of Brisbane's suburbs will be priced out of this range, and you'll have to look to other local regional councils that sit in and around Brisbane. There are some pockets here in Rocklea, near Salisbury and Acacia Ridge that will be more affordable. Now, Rocklea and Acacia Ridge are more industrial areas of Brisbane. They have the Archerfield Airport, they have a large train station, they have a lot of industrial facilities there and businesses. So over a long period of time, these might not have as stronger capital growth as more blue chip locations. But as we said earlier, they might have more cash flow. So you need to assess that for yourself or work with your buyer's agent or your trusted advisor to get an understanding of what might work for you. But I do want to point out that if you had the money, you could buy in these areas in Brisbane under a $650,000 price point. So let's take a look at some of these recent sales. So as an example, you can see that this property sold for $520,000. It was in late 2021 in August, and it has 3 bed, 1 bath, 2 car on 726 square meters. Now, it's a bit of a rundown home. It looks like it needs some work. The kitchen's okay. It's got some new appliances and it's got timber floors and reasonable spaces as well. Could definitely do with a tidy up, but at that price point, there's some advertising there as well. But that's where you can see what you might be able to afford at that price point. And in this case, when you're buying in Rocklea, you'll be within 10 kilometers of the CBD. This is walking distance to the train line, but you do want to check, especially if you're looking in these southwestern corridor, that you run a flood report as well, because a lot of these suburbs have high amounts of flooding in that southwestern corridor. At the moment, you'll be able to afford in the Rocklea and the Acacia Ridges of Brisbane City Council, but you won't be able to afford in places like Salisbury, in Sunnybank, or in 8 Mile Plains, for example. When you're moving south of there, you'll be moving into Logan City Council, and you'll be able to afford in pockets like Springwood, Rochedale South, and then we've got the notorious suburbs of Woodridge, Slacks Creek, and Logan Central, which are still very affordable within, say, 25 kilometers of the CBD. Now, I'm not making recommendations of this is where I put my money, but we are just talking around price points and what you can afford at a $650,000 price point. Now, there are some great pockets even further south of these locations, so you might want to look at Meadowbrook, at Loganholme, even as far down as Beenleigh. I think once you're getting south of Beenleigh and Mount Warren Park, you're moving out into more greenfield estates, and you're probably getting too far away from Brisbane CBD and too close to the developer's land supply to be worried about new land coming onto the market. Now let's move north and take a look at what's going on the north side at a $650,000 price point. So you can really see here that there's not a lot of property that's been available for sale on Brisbane's north side at this affordable price point. Really, the two key suburbs that are within Brisbane City Council are Bald Hills and Bracken Ridge, and they're right on the border between Moreton Bay and Brisbane City Council. So you will be able to afford properties in here potentially at $600,000 to $650,000, but again, be wary that these are starting to creep up relatively quickly. So we can see this property sold for $600,000 in December 2021. So it's not, it's 3 months ago. So it's relatively new. 4-bed, 1-bath, 2-car, 577 square meters. So this looks like a reasonable buy. It's on a fairly quiet street from the looks of it. And as you flick through the photos, you can see even at this price point, you're not going to get something that's beautiful and brand new. It is going to be an older style home, which might need some renovation work. Now, to me, I see dollar signs looking at this and going, great, I can add new flooring, I can repaint, I can potentially upgrade kitchens and bathrooms in an affordable way and add a lot of value to these properties. But for others, if you're interstate or you're wanting something that's, maybe not so much work, then you might need to look further out at, say, some of the Moreton Bay City Council suburbs. So examples of those and what's really grown in popularity are suburbs like Strathpine, let me have a look here, like Bray Park, you've heard a lot about Kalanga, I'm sure, and Petrie as well, with the USQ University being in there now. So those 4 suburbs up towards Mango Hill and south of North Lakes would be my pick at a $650,000 price point north of Brisbane CBD. Again, these are in Moreton Bay Council, not in Brisbane City Council. So the key suburbs in Brisbane City Council would be those Bracken Ridge, Bald Hills, Rockley, and Acacia Ridge at this affordable price point. And then if you're moving south to Logan, you'd be looking down towards Meadowbrook, Bethania, Kingston, those types of areas. And then north, you're going to have to look at Strathpine and north from there. So we're talking Kalanga, Petrie, Bray Park. So just to pick out an example, you can see this property sold for $626,000 and it was in November 2021. So this might now sell for, say, $650,000 or $660,000. It's still around that price point that's affordable. Comparing this to the other property that we looked at in Bald Hills, this is a little bit further out, a few kilometers further north along the train line, and you're getting a 4-bed, 2-bath, 2-car home on 532 square meters. You can see the home's brick and tile compared to the fibro property that we were looking at. And there's not many photos of the inside, which do concern me a little bit. But that's what you've got to look at. If you're going to try and buy closer in at an affordable price point, you might need to compromise on bedrooms and bathrooms. And then if you want to buy further out, you might be able to get a better style property with more bedrooms and bathrooms. It depends what you're after. If you want to maximize your land value and maximize your potential capital growth, maybe look at 3-bed, 1-bath homes further in towards the CBD in more prime locations. Or if you want more of the 4-bed, 2-bath format, maybe a brick and tile home compared to a timber-clad or a fibro home, then maybe look a little bit further out and you'll be able to buy a 4-bed, 2-bath home at a more affordable price point. Now, as I said, these are not suburb recommendations in Brisbane and the surrounding councils. It's just a suggestion as to where affordability lies at the moment. Everyone's situation is different, and if you want to chat with me, I offer free strategy sessions, which you can book through my website at purposeproperty.com.au. I run a buyer's agency here in Brisbane and we specialise in buying properties within the Brisbane market in a 30-kilometre ring, north, south and on Brisbane's Bayside. If you found this information useful and insightful, make sure you drop a like on this video, subscribe to the channel down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.